Welcome back to another round at the bar, gentlemen. You already know what this is. Grit on the Rocks podcast. The podcast where we sip on a little wisdom, chase it down with some humor, and keep it real about what it means to be a man in today's world. Now, I know we took a longer break than I expected to. But when you're a one-man team or someone who's being pulled in many different directions, eventually there's a breaking point and you're forced to step back and reevaluate yourself and everything you're doing. And that is exactly what brought me to today's topic.
This podcast is a Buenos Dias Media production.
This is the Grit on the Rocks podcast, where raw conversations meet smooth sips. Pull up a chair, pour your favorite drink, puff on your favorite cigar, and join us as we dive into the convos that matter. No scripts, no barriers, just unfiltered truth served straight up. Cheers to the real ones out there. Salud.
Now, let's get right into it. The topic today, that quiet little thought that creeps in late at night when nobody's around, or at least when nobody's awake. That, man, I feel like a loser. And probably most won't admit feeling that way at some time or at some point or another. But to be honest, I think we all do at some point. This is Grit on the Rocks podcast, brought to you by Buenos Dias Media.
The views and opinions expressed by the host, guest, and/or participants of this show do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Buenos Dias Media LLC, its associates, partners, and show sponsors. The content is intended for entertainment purposes and should not be construed as professional advice. Listener discretion is advised.
Remember to like, comment, and share. We are available on video format on YouTube and Rumble, as well as on audio format on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. So remember to follow, rate us if it gives you an option, give us a 5-star review, drop a comment, share with your friends and maybe your brothers or your bros that might need to hear this. So let's keep it real here. Yes, every man at one point of his life or another has moments of feeling like a loser. Doesn't matter if you're broke, if you're rich, if you're married, if you're single, if you're a dad, if you're a CEO, or if you're hustling from the ground up. At some point, you're going to look in the mirror and think, damn, I'm not where I should be. And today I want to break down why men might feel this way, and how to deal with it, and more importantly, how to turn that loser feeling into the best fuel you've ever had. Think about it. Every man has a valley season. Every man has seasons that change. You have your cold seasons, your warm seasons, seasons when you're hot, and seasons when you're cooling down. You see other guys winning, new car, new job, on Instagram, flexing trips in Dubai, and suddenly your 2012 Honda with the check engine light feels like a clown car. You see, the male brain is wired to compare and compete. It's primal. Caveman compared spears. Nowadays, we compare paychecks and deadlifts. Even if it's subconsciously, even if we're not envious people, right? We don't envy what others have. We don't move based on FOMO. And we celebrate when we see others win. But deep down inside, we're keeping a tally of our wins and losses and noticing those of others and subconsciously comparing. But here's the thing. Even the guys you think are winning battle or have battled in the past with feeling like losers too, at some point or another. I kind of think it's inevitable, right? In my opinion. You might see the millionaire who seems to have everything, but deep down inside, he feels lonely and struggles with real connection. You might see the gym bros who's all about, their looks. But in reality, they can't hold a healthy relationship. There's also the family man who loves his family dearly and would do anything for them, but secretly wonders if he gave up too much of his dream. But listen up, my brothers. Feeling like a loser is not permanent. It's not a permanent state. It's a snapshot. And obviously, it's not something you should bask in, accept, and waddle in. But it happens at one point or another. Like I said, I kind of feel it's inevitable. So let's think here. Why do men feel like losers sometimes? And if you're one of those that's puffing his chest, saying, well, I've never felt like a loser. Well, I got to tell you something, my friend. Either you're a professional loser in denial, or you've never analyzed yourself enough to notice. Probably have zero self-awareness. Let me clarify that when I say professional loser, I'm talking about those that do nothing with their life and they just don't notice. They're okay with that. They're proud of it. And in their mind, they might think of themselves as bosses. But I digress. So why do men feel like losers sometimes? Well, sometimes it might be unmet expectations. Society tells men provide, protect, succeed. If you stumble in even one of those, you feel like a fraud. You might work hard, but still feel that you don't make enough and you're not providing enough. Or even with some success, you still feel that you are not where you want to be yet. Some men might have silent struggles. Most men keep their battles in silence. That rejection, career doubts, loneliness. Silence makes you believe you're the only one losing. In many cases, to be honest, no one cares to ask. We might struggle in silence, and those of us who refuse to complain to burden others with our problems, we say everything is fine when asked. But think about it. In reality, who cares enough to really find out if you're okay or not? Some might fall into the comparison trap. Social media is the highlight reel. Your life, your real life, is the behind the scenes. Of course it feels like you're losing. Social media has already been around, my friends, long enough for us to know this by now. But let me remind you. In many, to most cases, the flexing you see on social media is not real. The humble brags with name brands, the luxurious cars, the big houses, and the consistent or extravagant vacations. In reality, most of that is hiding insecurities. It's hiding car and home rental receipts or struggles to make payments. Because those who truly can flex, in reality, they don't. Some might be in shitty relationships, loneliness, or true unhappiness. But they're here flexing. So do yourself a favor. Don't believe the hype. Some men might be going through transition phases. And no, I don't mean those types of transitions. Might be starting over after a divorce, switching careers, moving cities. These are identity resets that make you feel small until you find your footing. Me personally, when I moved to New York, I had to start from scratch. I had to leave everything and every relationship I had built in my adulthood behind and start over again in my 30s. It's like puberty 2.0. Your voice doesn't crack, but your bank account does. All right, so let's take a quick break and we'll be back with the hidden gift in feeling like a loser and also how to flip it. Stay tuned to this and so much more. This is Grit on the Rocks podcast, a Buenos Dias Media production.
Looking to connect with like-minded men who share your drive for success and passion for the finer things in life? Welcome to the Apex Gentlemen's Guild, a private members club for men who value ambition, camaraderie, giving back, and personal growth. For a limited time while we're fully remote, you can join the guild for free. Gain access to tons of motivational content, exclusive events, insightful discussions, and a network of high-performance individuals. Don't miss this chance to elevate your social circle. Request to join today at facebook.com/groups/Apex Gentlemen's Guild or give us a like at facebook.com/Apex Gentlemen's Guild. The Apex Gentlemen's Guild, excellence forged in unity.
This is the Modern Beat podcast, where voice, vulnerability, and victory meet. I'm Leilani.
And I'm Michelle. We're two friends having the real conversations women actually need about healing, hustle, motherhood, love, money, and the patterns we know too well.
No pretending here. Just honest stories, expert gems, and practical tools so you can feel seen and move forward.
If you ever felt silenced, judged, or just tired of carrying it all, you're home. Pull up a chair.
New episodes are short enough for your commute, deep enough to change your week.
Hit follow on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Share this with your sisters, your group chat. Your future self will thank you.
The Modern V.
The Modern V.
Voice,
vulnerability,
victory.
Victory.
Gentlemen, this one's for you. Whether you're signing deals, chasing dreams, or just unwinding after a long day, your cigar should match your grind. At thegentleman'storch.com, we bring you premium cigars, boutique blends, and curated sample packs, all without the premium price. Because class isn't about the label, it's about the standard you set. From CEOs to 9-to-5ers, every man deserves that moment, that taste of excellence. So light up, level up, and let your story burn slow. Visit thegentleman'storch.com, where affordability meets class and every smoke means something. The Gentleman's Torch. Light up, level up.
Hi, this is Kevin B. Cloth. You're listening to Grit on the Rocks podcast.
And we are back. This is Grit on the Rocks podcast, a Buenos Dias Media production. Today we've been discussing why every man feels like a loser at some point in time and how to flip that into fuel. Okay, so we already discussed a few of the reasons why men might go through these seasons of feeling this way. I would love to hear from the public, from the audience, if they ever felt this way and why. Leave them in the comments or reach out to us through gritontheRocks.com. Scroll down to the Contact Us section and send us a message. Or send us a DM on Instagram at GritOnTheRocks. Who knows who you might help by sharing your experience And if you have a story you would like to share on the show, send it to us. And clarify if you'd like to be anonymous and remain anonymous. Okay, so let's look at the hidden gift behind feeling like a loser. Feeling like a loser means you're self-aware, my friends. Zombies don't feel like losers. They just drift. These are the ones I call professional losers. They just drift in their loser ways and wear it like a badge of honor. Zero self-awareness, zero accountability. They just exist. Feeling like a loser, my friends, it's a signal. It's not a sentence. Understand this. When you become aware of this feeling, understand that it's a signal, not a sentence. It can be a wake-up call or a call to action. But what we do next is totally up to us. Do we dust off and keep it pushing? Or do we roll into the fetal position and wallow in our sorrow? That is up to you. Think about this. That pit in your stomach is proof you've got higher standards for yourself. And what do I mean by this? That pit in our stomach usually tells us we are uncomfortable with something. Something doesn't feel right. And when something doesn't feel right, we usually take action to change that. So do yourself a favor and don't get comfortable with feeling like a loser in life. Every great comeback story starts in a loser season. You want proof? Think Jordan getting cut from varsity. And we've all seen the phenomenon he turned out to be in sports. Not only in sports, but in business. Think about someone like Steve Jobs getting fired from his own company. Steve Jobs getting fired from Apple in 1985 following a power struggle with the board of directors and CEO John Sculley. Steve Jobs was forced out of Apple, the company he had co-founded. And he described this experience as devastating, feeling that the focus of his entire life was gone. But he definitely made a comeback, because during his time away from Apple, Jobs didn't stop innovating. He founded Next Computer, a company focused on building advanced workstations for higher education and business. He also acquired a computer graphics division from Lucasfilm, which he turned into Pixar Animation Studio. Ever heard that name before? Under his leadership, Pixar revolutionized the film industry with the first computer animated feature film, Toy Story. Apple eventually struggled in his absence and acquired Next in 1996, bringing Jobs back to the company as an advisor, then becoming interim CEO and then permanent CEO, leading a dramatic turnaround that included the introduction of groundbreaking products like iMac, iPod, iPhone, iPad, fundamentally transforming Apple into one of the world's most valuable companies. This period is often cited as a prime example of how initial failure, or your loser season, or a major setback can be a crucial catalyst for future success. I mean, you can take example from the dude who got dumped, and then all of a sudden, what does he do? He gets shredded at the gym. It took losing to turn him into that image, right? Or at least the image of a winner. That quote unquote loser energy, if flipped, becomes motivation that no book or motivational speaker can manufacture. The guy who feels like a loser today is the same guy who'll scare people with his glow up tomorrow. So, how can we flip this? Call it out. Admit it. Say it out loud. Pretending you're winning when you're losing just makes you bitter, not better. Audit your circle. This I've told you guys many times. Half the reason why you feel like a loser is because you got toxic people around you making you doubt yourself. Cut them off ASAP. Stack small wins. Work out. Pay off a bill. Learn a skill. Momentum kills loser energy. Rewrite the scoreboard. Stop measuring yourself by somebody else's stats. Your timeline is yours. Stay patient with the grind. Success is compound interest. The problem is that most men, want microwave results when life is more like a slow cooker. So yeah, all men at some point feel like losers. It's not weakness. It's part of the journey. What matters is whether you set up camp in that loser valley or whether you treat it like a rest stop on the way to your next peak. Remember this, my brothers. Loser seasons are temporary, but the grit you build from them lasts forever. So this has been Grit on the Rocks podcast. And if this hit home, share it with a brother who might be feeling the same way right now. And don't forget, life's tough, but so are you. Until next time, my brothers, keep your cigars lit, your glasses full, your spirits high, and your conversations meaningful. I am David, and this is Grit on the Rocks podcast, a Buenos Dias Media production.